Hey guys, it's Sim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 29th of March. Damn, it's almost the end of March 2020 to talk about, well, WrestleMania 32. Last week on ESPN, they put up and aired WrestleMania 30. And, well, I was like, well, I didn't even have my channel when WrestleMania 30 was a thing. Then I thought, and, well, because of it, I didn't ever review WrestleMania 30. Then when they said this week will be WrestleMania 32, I went back and looked, and, well, we never fully reviewed WrestleMania 32 either. So my thought was, hey, this would be something cool. Let's go back, watch these two shows as they air on ESPN, and then review them, talk about them, give you my thoughts, and we're only going to talk about what actually aired on the ESPN. No audio? Can you guys hear me? You might hear double audio for a second. I'm going to load it up on my end just to double check because everything's looking good on my end, and I actually just recorded a video talking about Monday Night Raw that worked fine. So I'm going to check it out for 1 second. Again, Daniel in the chat says no audio. Give me one moment. Watch Nickelodeon then. Let's check this out. I'm pretty sure there's audio. Oh yeah, Luke says audio is on. Okay, thank you. We can hear you. Okay, never mind. I was gonna load up the stream myself and check, but good to know you guys can hear me. So with that, like I stated, we've never reviewed WrestleMania 32, so I thought it would be fun to go back, watch the show, review it, let you know what I think of it, and tell you if I thought any different this time than I did when I first watched it all the way back in 2016. But before we get to that, we got to talk about who's here with us right now. We do have Derek Bocek, my bad, Wayne Montgomery, Mojo, Sinclair Saturday, Mick Thompson, Luke Petke, Vegeta Lover 92, Lower 92, Stephen Love, Ryan Bakuti, and so many more of you, like I stated, to talk about WrestleMania 36. And this show on ESPN did kick off with the appropriate first match, which was, and I say actually, hold on. Let's talk about what they didn't show first, because there's an interesting sentiment on Twitter right now because of what they didn't show. So there were two matches that they didn't show. They didn't show Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles, and they didn't show Brock Lesnar versus Jon Moxley or Dean Ambrose, whatever you want to call him. Now, last week when they didn't air the Shield match, I gave them the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, hey, give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they didn't air that Shield match because it was a short match. And everyone's like, no, they didn't air the Shield match because of basically everyone kept telling me they didn't air the Shield match because they didn't want to air Moxley. And I was giving them the benefit of the doubt of, no, that's not it. I don't think it was that. I didn't think they'd be that petty. But then tonight, the two matches that don't get aired are the two matches with AEW wrestlers, which is like, okay, I see you, WWE. I see what you're doing now. No, not good at all. I felt like they should have just at least, like, you would think to an ESPN audience, putting a Brock Lesnar match on there would mean something because, well, he's Brock Lesnar and he used to fight in the UFC, and ESPN would always air, even before they aired UFC highlights. So I thought, okay, they're going to at least put Brock Lesnar's match on there. He wins. It's not like Ambrose wins or anything, but no. They didn't even put that match on, or that what's what I'm looking for, that match on there. So it's just like, fuck, they're really getting that petty. But they did kick it off with the match that kicked off WrestleMania 32. They did start it with the correct match, and it was the ladder match. Excuse me, the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. I do have a couple facts here as well, but I'll get to those when I get to those. So this match did have Kevin Owens going in as the champion, defending against Sami Zayn, The Miz, Zack Ryder, Sin Cara, Dolph Ziggler, and Stardust. So I know what your question's going to be. Well, they aired a match with Cody, and he's AEW. Yeah, but that's a big multi-man match, and he didn't wrestle as Cody. He wrestled as Stardust, so they never had to actually show him as he looks now. At least that's my feeling on it. But this was a great opening match. Owens got the best babyface reaction coming out. Owens and Zayn immediately did their hockey fight open. Stardust was out in polka dots to honor his late great father, Dusty Rhodes. Dusty had died just months before this, too. Dusty died in late 2015. And so not only did Cody come out here dressed in polka dots, but he also had a black and yellow polka dot ladder. So at one point, early on, a couple guys, I can't remember exactly who it was, I didn't write it down, were holding up a ladder. I know one was Sammy, I can't remember who the other guy was. Let me know in the chat. We're holding up a ladder, and so the Miz thinks, oh, I'm going to climb it. No, now keep in mind, the ladder is not set up. It's just held like this. They're holding it up. But Miz thinks, oh, I'm going to climb it. And then whoever's holding it, Sammy and the other guy, I can't remember who it was, just go, why are we holding the ladder for this guy? And they just dump him. So at one point, Owens backdropped Zayn onto a ladder. Zayn climbed up, and Stardust tipped over the ladder. Ziggler caught his neck on, or Ziggler climbed up, my bad, I read it wrong. Ziggler climbed up, got tipped by Stardust, and crotched the ropes, and then fell to the floor below. Zayn then dove through a ladder at one point onto everybody, and I loved, okay, Derek, you're right. It was June 2015, so mid-2015. I apologize. For some reason, I was thinking October. Anyways, I loved JBL's line here when Sammy dives through the ladder to everybody at the outside, and he just goes, well, that's bad luck. I laugh every time I hear that line. Going forward, he does his flip dive, and the crowd chants, this is awesome. Ziggler was super kicking everybody here and climbed up until Owens tipped over the ladder. It was the second time Owens had the ladder tipped over. Ziggler had the ladder tipped over. Ziggler and Owens then super kicked each other at the same time. Stardust then pulled out a polka dot ladder that he called the Starbird. Ben started chanting for Dusty at this point. He knocked everyone down with his ladder. Miz used the skull-crushing finale on Stardust on the polka dotted ladder. Owens threw the polka dot ladder out of the ring for easy heat. Excuse me. Everyone then started hitting their finishers at this point. Stardust was laid out on a ladder bridge, and Sin Cara splashed him, which actually broke the ladder. Owens and Zayn climbed to the top and were throwing punches. Zayn laid out Owens with a half-and-half German suplex, kind of like a tiger driver, T-bone. Well, not T-bone, tiger driver, tiger suplex kind of deal. And Owens was done from here. He was just laid out on this ladder that Sammy had suplexed him on. He sold it like he was dead. JBL kept yelling, someone needs to check on Owens because he hasn't moved. He's still not moving. Then, finally, comes down to The Miz after he throws out Sami Zayn. And The Miz climbs to the top of the ladder thinking, I've got this one. He looks around for a second. There's nobody here. I can pander to the crowd. I'm going to sit at the top of the ladder before I grab the belt. But then what does happen? As we all remember, Miz is acting heelish. Miz is acting like a dumb buffoon, which timely for this week because he acted like a dumb buffoon this week. Anyways, I digress. For Zack Ryder would scamper up the ladder, push The Miz off, grab the Intercontinental Championship, and win not his first singles championship, but the Intercontinental Championship in the biggest moment of his career. Because before this, he was a former United States champion. But this hands down, has to be the biggest career moment for Zack Ryder. I'm just saying. I mean, what would the other be? Getting kicked in the nuts by Eve Torres at WrestleMania? No. Getting pushed off of the stage by Kane in a wheelchair? No. This is the biggest moment in Zack Ryder's career, winning the Intercontinental Championship. But then they made him look like the biggest goob because he lost it roughly 24 hours later to The Miz on Raw. Miz went down to the ring and was like, hey, give me a title shot. And he said no. And then finally he's like, no, you should prove yourself as a champion. So give me a shot. And what happened? Maurice made her big return, helped Miz win. Fucking Zack Ryder wasn't even champion for 24 hours. So next up was supposed to be Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles, which went 17 minutes with Chris Jericho defeating AJ. But they skipped that and they went to the 6-man tag team match with the New Day against the League of Legends. Yeah, League of Legends. Haven't heard of that stable in a long time. League of Legends was Rusev, Sheamus, Alberto Del Rio with Wade Barrett in their corner. This was the big entrance, Infinite Budios entrance from the New Day when they came out in the 20-foot Budio box dressed as Dragon Ball Z characters. And I still love Michael Cole when he says, oh, you know who Xavier Woods is supposed to be? Look at the hair. He's Vegito. No, it's Vegeta. Anyways, that entrance is always really cool. I kind of wish they would have had a camera in the Budios box so later on they could do a documentary and have footage of how that actually went down, of them getting tipped over and whatnot. Like, I want to know how they were standing in that box when it got tipped over and everything. It's just something that always kind of like was on my mind. But anyways, I digress. Like I said, the match went, I didn't say, but the match went roughly 10 minutes here. They kept pushing leading up to this match as a 4-on-3 handicap match, but then when the time came, well, it ended up just being 3-on-3 with Barrett in their corner. So the match from the start was designed to build, as we see, to the League of Nations, saying they're the greatest 3-man, 4-man unit out there, and then getting beat down afterwards. So there's a lot of back and forth here with the New Day having the early advantage, pummeling Sheamus in their corner. At one point, they've got Sheamus down in their corner. So Xavier Woods thinks, all right, I'm going to grab my Francesca, which I forgot all about Francesca. Like, not the what you call it, the trombone itself, but that they called it Francesca because, we haven't seen Woods in forever. We haven't seen that trombone, and they haven't called it Francesca in a long time either. Anyways, he thought it would be cool to play it during the match while Kofi was pummeling Sheamus in their corner, and Big E was dancing on the apron. People were singing New Day Rocks. You were actually able to hear some singing New Day Sucks, which was funny. Kofi tried to have Trouble in Paradise, which Sheamus caught and turned it into a cloverleaf. Big E did a series of belly-to-bellies on Sheamus and then one on Rusev, which didn't look too good. Big E tackled Sheamus and Rusev both through the ropes to the floor. I'm glad he doesn't do that move anymore. Wade Barrett from behind tried to get involved. Woods used a double foot stomp on Sheamus for a near fall. Del Rio did a backstabber to Woods and a double foot stomp on Kofi on the apron. Barrett from the outside hit Woods with a bullhammer elbow, and Sheamus followed this up with the brogue kick, picking up the victory. Also, I forgot to mention to you guys that ladder match, Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer gave it 4.5 stars. This match, no, he gave it 4.25 stars. I digress. But he gave this match the 2.5. Sinclair Saturday, what did I say wrong? Did I say League of Legends? Because it's League of Nations. If I said League of Legends, I apologize. And Mr. 84 says, I've got some bad news for you. Oh, Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett, Wayne Montgomery says, what happened to Wade Barrett? Well, basically when he left WWE, he retired. Didn't do too much after. And now he's doing commentary for the NWA. He replaced Jim Cornette when they canned his ass. So after the match, Barrett takes the microphone and says, "There's no 3-man unit in history that can go up against us." He said, "There's nobody." And, well, out would come Shawn Michaels. The music of the Heartbreak Kid would play. Then the music of Mick Foley would play. Then the music of a Stone Cold Steve Austin would also play as those 3 men came down to the ring. Foley, looking like he could barely walk, sauntered down and got in the ring. Wade Barrett was like, "Hey, 4 of us, only 3 of you." Well, he was pulled out of the ring by the New Day. Also, if you ever never heard, this was not supposed to be Mick Foley. That was actually supposed to be Batista. The original plan was Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, and Batista, but Batista said no when he was asked by Vince to do this. He's talked about it in a couple interviews since. So with that, Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, or Cactus Jack as they were calling him, because that's how he was dressed, I guess you could say, beat down the League of Nations. Austin gave them all stunners and whatnot before the New Day would hop into the ring. Austin called for some beers, and they were like, "Dance with us, groove with us, move with us." And Mick kind of started to dance, and Shawn started to pop and lock and twerk a little bit, and Austin was like, "No." And Woods is like grinding on Austin almost, saying, "Hey, just dance with me. Let's do this, Steve Austin." And Austin goes, "Okay, I'll play your game." And he starts. And you hear Michael Cole, "Oh, Austin's actually going to dance. Austin's going to do it." Xavier Woods does a 360 spin move, and then boom, takes a Stone Cold Stunner. Austin calls for beers, and great segment. I really had fun with it then, and still had fun watching it now. Well, then next up was supposed to be Brock Lesnar defeating Dean Ambrose in a no-holds-barred match, but they didn't air it. Match went 12 minutes and 49 seconds originally, and the Observer gave it 3.25 stars. So next up, they did air the women's triple threat match. I'm going to say right now, I still think this match is just as good as it was before. Still holds up for sure. Lita was in the ring holding the new WWE Women's Championship, as Charlotte Flair was coming in as the Divas Champion for the final time. Becky Lynch came out first. Sasha Banks then came out second with a special guest, Snoop D-O-double-G. Was her company, what's the word I'm looking for? Not accomplice. He accompanied her down to the ring. We're going to ba-deep, that's all, folks. I'm a pork to pig it. Can't think of the big word, let's go with the small word. Anyways, he came down with her. If you don't remember, Snoop went into the Hall of Fame that year. And Charlotte came down with her father, Ric Flair, and the Divas Championship still. The big thing was they will be retiring the Divas Championship. They'll be crowning a new champion. And I hate how they kept going. The first ever women's champion. The first ever WWE Women's Champion. So we're just going to discredit Mickie James. We're just going to discredit Lita. Trish Stratus, all the women before that were WWE Women's Champion. Before you guys even say it in the comments, before you guys even say it in the chat, I get it. It's a new era. So it's a new women's champion. The first new women's champion of this era. I get that. But I've hated it then, and I hate it now that they kept saying the first ever women's champion, when there was a women's championship before that gaudy butterfly divas title. Yes, Wayne, Snoop Dogg is Sasha's cousin. Again, I really liked this match then, and I still liked it now. Actually, the beginning of the match was a reminiscent of a Dean Malenko-Eddie Guerrero match. Charlotte wore a robe down, and they said that this robe was made of pieces from Ric Flair's retirement robe from WrestleMania 24. So both Lynch and Banks got good reactions here early. Fans started the "This is Wrestling" chant really before anything even started. They rushed through all kinds of pinning combos early. Banks came off with a sunset flip off the top rope, but overshot it and missed badly. But they all fell down anyways. It turned into a really good match here once they got the nerve. I think what this was is all three of these women. This is their first WrestleMania. I think there was some nerves early on, but once they got rocking and rolling, shaking and grooving, this match was just phenomenal. I really like this match, and this is a match where you can tell anybody if someone goes, "Oh, what are the women? You just slap each other and cat fight." No, you send them to this match or Bayley Sasha from TakeOver and say, "No, watch these women. This is women's wrestling." So for most of this match, Ric Flair was distracting the other women at ringside. Lynch got an armbar on Flair at one point, but Rick had the ref distracted. Charlotte got the figure 4 on Lynch, but Banks came off the top rope with a splash onto Charlotte, and then Charlotte had to break up the hold. Sasha went for the pin, didn't get it though. Banks then did an amazing flip tope onto Charlotte as Banks went through the ropes like she was doing a tope and didn't flip until the last second. Really cool spot here. Lynch then used a tope on Ric Flair, which the crowd loved. This led to a yes chant, which is kind of funny. Charlotte did a moonsault off the top rope on both of the women on the floor. They pretty much won the crowd over from there as the crowd was just going bananas after that moonsault. They did all kinds of near fall spots here, submissions and whatnot. Charlotte then got the figure 8 on Banks, but Lynch pulled her out. Charlotte then speared the hell out of Banks. Lynch used a fisherman suplex off the top onto Charlotte, and Banks put the Banks statement on Becky. Charlotte then recovered, grabbed Sasha, threw her out of the ring, put the figure 8 on Becky, and as Sasha was trying to get back into the ring, Ric Flair grabbed her by the leg so she couldn't, and Becky had to tap out with Charlotte, I guess you can say retaining, but their whole thing was becoming the first, the new, the women's champion. Meltzer gave it a 4 stars. I would give it at least 4 stars, if not 4.5, in my opinion. Especially, I can see where you can go 4, though, because it was a little nervy, clunky, going forward at the beginning. But like I said, after the first 2 minutes or so of this 16-minute match, maybe 3 minutes of this 16-minute match, and they got those WrestleMania jitters out, they fucking killed it. So next up, we've got Undertaker versus Shane McMahon in a Hell in a Cell match that went 30 minutes long, and I timed it, kind of, because there was the Undertaker's entrance was so long, they cut to commercial. So, Undertaker's music plays. He doesn't walk out for 1 minute and 6 seconds. Then, from the time his music starts to the time they cut to commercial, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Come back from commercial, still another 20-ish seconds before Taker actually is in the ring. Taker's entrance from the start of his music to the time he steps foot in the ring, 4 minutes. Everybody always says Undertaker has them god-awful long entrances. 4 minutes. And I mean, this is a fun match. I wouldn't call it a great match by any means, but I've always felt that this match was fun to watch. So there was a lot of hype in this match, as it was a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania, which is rarely done. I think this was only the third, correct me if I'm wrong, third Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania. Plus, this was the big return match of Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon had been gone for, 7 years before this? 6 or 7 years. Shane came down with his kids before handing them off to his wife Marissa and Mama Linda in the front row. Like I stated, the match went 30 minutes. Shane looked to be in okay shape. Undertaker did not look to be in okay shape. He looked out of shape. So Shane actually had to, what's the word I'm looking for? Carry this match. Yeah, Shane had to carry the match. Just saying. So McMahon had DDT'd Undertaker early on the steps, so it looks very sloppy. Undertaker then used a gogoplata, which nobody gets out of. But, well, Shane did. Put the Undertaker in the sharpshooter. Undertaker was able to break it. Shane pulled out a garbage can. The Undertaker was really into Shane's 2 big spots. First was the coast-to-coast dropkick, which he pulled off at 46 years old. Shane, and we've seen him do it the next year too against AJ, doing that coast to coast. So kudos to Shane. I mean, tried to do it. Oh no. I was going to say he tried to do it that same year at Survivor Series and botched it kind of, but that was more, he got speared in the middle of it and didn't take a good bump. Anyways, WrestleMania. We're not here to talk about Survivor Series. So he does the coast to coast. Shane grabbed bolt cutters and started cutting apart part of the cell so they can get out. Undertaker then tackled Shane right into a part of the cell that just broke apart. Now they're fighting on the outside, fighting on the announce tables and whatnot. And Undertaker went to kill him while they were standing on a platform. McMahon then hit him with a monitor. Undertaker then choked out Shane McMahon. Well, no, Shane jumped on Undertaker and choked him. Then hit him a few times. And then, fans started chanting, "Please don't die," when Shane started climbing up the cage. Undertaker's laying on a table. Shane McMahon does the whole, I probably did that wrong, but Shane McMahon does the little prayer thing and jumps off that cell. We knew Shane was going to do something nuts. We knew Undertaker wasn't climbing to the top. Shane comes down and just crashes right through the Undertaker. It took forever for him to get to the top of that cell, though. Finally, Undertaker, after a couple of minutes, moved. Shane moved around. Undertaker threw Shane into the ring. Shane begged for mercy. Shane begged for forgiveness. Undertaker hits him with a tombstone and pinned him. Now, what I had forgotten was the stipulation of this match. Stipulation of this match was if Shane McMahon wins, he gets sole power of WWE. I forgot all about that, to be completely honest. And the big thing going into this was, what's going to happen to Triple H? What's going to happen to Stephanie? They don't like Shane. Is Shane going to fire them? Shane wants to make sure the WWE stays wholesome for his family and his kids and the next generation and whatnot. And I forgot about that storyline. But Undertaker here does defeat Shane McMahon. I didn't think it was a good match. I had a good time watching it. Meltzer gives it a 2.5. I say, 2.5 is good enough. Probably go with a 2 in my opinion. Next up, they did air. Actually, no. So we're going to go a little bit out of order. We flipped 2 segments. Next was supposed to be the Battle Royal, but instead they aired the Rock segment first. So they announced that Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are going to dance. So they do their little dance, and then the music of the Rock hits where the crowd loses their shit. Excuse me. Crowd goes nuts as the Rock comes out. Rock stands up, looking around, and then he goes, "Wait, give me a minute. Give me 1 minute." He goes backstage and he comes out with this big old blaster. Looks like at first maybe a T-shirt cannon. And JBL just goes, "What the hell is that?" And so Rock's like trying to shoot it and there's like steam, smoke coming out of it. And then finally, fire comes out of it. Yes, fire. Rock's got a damn blowtorch. No, not a blowtorch. A flamethrower. He lights up, he flames up a big old The Rock symbol, sign, whatever you want to call it. And we go from there. So Rock comes down to the ring. He announces over 100,000 people in attendance, which that wasn't true. According to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer, he stated that actually at AT&T Stadium, I have it written down right here. I went and got this for you guys because I wanted to tell you that 100,000 was not the real number. So they announced 100,000. Or over 100,000. But it was more. Oh, I can't find it now. Hold on, I have it here. It was more like, where was it? 78, I want to say. I had it written down here for a second, but I can't find it anymore in my notes. I don't know why. I didn't just put it right with this segment. But anyways, WWE announced 101,763. That wasn't the real number. It was more like 79 or something like that. Going forward, Rock comes down. He says, "We're making history tonight. I'll maybe make more history here soon." And then, he was interrupted by Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman. And damn, does Braun look different. Damn, does Braun look different. Braun has bulked up in a good way. Braun is like leaner. That's what I'm looking for. Braun is leaner and got more muscle now. cleaned up the beard and cleaned up the hair. Bray comes down here, cuts a phenomenal promo on The Rock. He's like, hey, I'm not out here to be your friend. I'm not out here to be your enemy. Just out here to tell you that, well, what did he say? I have it in my head. I didn't write it down verbatim. But he's just like, I'm out here to tell you that, well, God damn it, I forgot now. I should have wrote it down. I didn't actually. Didn't take good notes here. Anyways, I digress. He tells him that I'm not your friend, I'm not your enemy, but I'm here to make my name. Something along those lines. And Rock goes, okay. I know you, Bray Wyatt. I know that you've got everybody here captivated. I know that you've got everybody here feeding out of the palm of your hand. Your music hits, and all these people turn their cell phones on because they're following you. You've got them in the palm of your hands. You've got the whole world in your hands, Bray. I know who you are. We're going to have a match. Rock takes off his shirt. Rock tears off the tearaway pants. He's ready to go. He says, I don't care if I take on one of you or your inbred friends. Let's fight. So Rock gets all ready to go. Turns around, there's Eric Rowan. Bell rings, ding, ding, ding. Rock goes, hits Eric Rowan, grabs him, rock bottom, 1, 2, 3. Lillian Garcia has to say it. And your winner in 6 seconds, The Rock. Bray, Strowman, get up on the apron. Rowan scampers up as well. Rock's surrounded. Rock says, come on. I can take you on. And what happens? Well, out would come the returning John Cena. John Cena had been out for 4 months at this point, I want to say. I can't remember the exact injury. Maybe a pectoral injury. I could be wrong. I think that may not have been the correct injury. But Cena comes back way earlier than expected. He was supposed to be out for like 8 months. This is only like 4 months that he comes back at. And he helps The Rock clear house. They talk about how, commentary talks about how this is a great moment because these two men just a couple years ago at WrestleMania 28 and WrestleMania 29 were fighting each other in main events, even at 29 for the WWE Championship and whatnot. But now they're working together. So, hey, it was a moment. It was a fun moment. And I know what everyone always says about this. They buried Bray Wyatt with The Rock. And that's not what WWE's thinking was going into this. Yeah, it looks like that. But their whole thinking was Bray is going to go out there and what's the word I'm looking for? Hang with The Rock on the mic and stuff. And The Rock put him over saying, you're great. I know who you are. You got everybody in the palm of your hand, blah, 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 blah. So that was supposed to be The Rock putting over Bray Wyatt. Just saying. So then we rewind a little, to go forward a little, as we get the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. This was the third Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal in history. And the big surprise here coming out was old Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq came down, got in the ring last, and stared down the Big Show. Big Show and Shaq are staring at each other. Kane then walks up, and it's rare when Big Show and Kane both have to look up at somebody, but they had to look up at Shaq. Kane then puts his hand around Shaq's throat. Shaq and Big Show then throttle Kane, chokeslam Kane, and we're off to the races. So Kane tried to, like I say, chokeslam them. He gets chokeslammed. Everyone then starts brawling. Show threw half the roster away. Shaq throws the other half of the roster away because they all jump on them. Everyone scampers out of the ring. And then in jumps Fandango, who gets thrown right out. Then in jumps Sandow, who gets thrown right out. Both Shaq and Big Show are left in the ring at this point while everybody else, remember, nobody else has been eliminated other than Fandango and I just said his name. Let me look here. I don't know why I can't remember. Fandango and Sandow. So Shaq and Big Show both grab each other by the throats before Connor would jump in, before DDP would jump in, and then everybody starts jumping in and brawling and going for it. And finally, everybody double teams, triple teams, bamboozles up on Shaq and Big Show and throws them out. And then we're off to the races, folks. People are going left and right, throwing out here, throwing out there. Goldust and Truth try to work together. They throw out Connor. Tatanka's in this match. He does his war dance and gets thrown out, paying tribute to Chief J Strongbow. One point, Kane backdrop Jack Swagger out of the ring. Adam Rose and Heath Slater were then threw out. R-Truth was thrown out. Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas punched Goldust off the apron. Kane then threw out Axel. Corbin then punched Adam Rose out of the ring. Kane then chokeslammed Corbin. So Corbin laying there. Heath Slater then comes off the top rope. Mark Henry caught him and threw him out. Tyler Breeze would then jump Mark Henry from behind. Mark Henry would grab him and throw him out. Excuse me. So then finally we've coming down to the itty bitty little bit end of this match. Kane then threw out Darren Young. Or Kane and Darren, no, I take it back. Kane and Darren Young work together to throw out Mark Henry, and then Kane throws out Darren Young. But then, as Kane throws out Darren Young, Corbin sneaks back in, dumps Kane, bada boom, Corbin, in his first main roster match, wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I thought this was okay. It was a Battle Royal. Nothing special at all. And then, we got our main event for the WWE Championship, which we all just saw back on Friday during SmackDown. I'm not going to bore you with Stephanie doing this entrance for Triple H. We do know that there are a lot of NXT guys used for this entrance, like Scott Dawson, Chad Gable, Finn Balor, Drake Wirtz, Enzo Amore, Simon Gotch, Blake, Murphy, Elias, and I think a couple others were also used with the skull masks and stuff during this entrance. So, leading up to this match, it was just Triple H versus Roman Reigns, Triple H defending the WWE Championship. But then, like, a day before, posters started being sold at, well, not a day before, a couple days before. When the posters started being seen at Access for sale, it said, no disqualification. And they hadn't actually announced this match as no disqualification until day of, to be completely honest. So that kind of spoiled that. And then it's just weird. They never even did an announcement. It was just the following match is a no disqualification match for the WWE Championship. And it's like, ooh, would have been cool if you would have announced that ahead of time instead of just putting it on the poster for everyone to see. Anyways, I digress. Roman Reigns comes out, or Triple H comes out first and gets some booze, but Roman comes out and gets hella booze. Early on, Stephanie distracted the referee, and Triple H kicked Roman low. Hit him with that low blow. Triple H beat on him. Triple H bounced him off of a table several times face first and did a neck breaker on the floor. Triple H came off the top rope with a knee to the back of the neck. He tried a second time, but Reigns punched him. Match wasn't bad, but the crowd really, really didn't like it. Wasn't even the longest match of the night, though, because this match went 27 minutes, 3 minutes or so shorter than that Hell in a Cell. Triple H threw Reigns at one point into the steps. Reigns speared Triple H through the barricade, which didn't get much of a reaction from the crowd. For some reason, the crowd starts chanting Nakamura. If you don't remember, Shinsuke Nakamura made his debut for WWE the night before in just a holy crap phenomenal match against Sami Zayn, and probably one of the greatest matches in NXT history. Reigns went for a Superman punch, which Triple H turned into a Fujiwara armbar. He then used a regular armbar at this point. Since Triple H never used a submission, the crowd didn't know how to react. Reigns used one of his arms, powered him up, herked him, powerbombed him down. Triple H went for an armbar again, and Reigns did a second powerbomb. Now, we started getting Sami Zayn chants and Ole Ole chants. The crowd did not care for this match at all. Reigns went for a big dive over the top, but Triple H punched him right in the nose. Reigns hit a spear, but Stephanie pulled the referee out of the ring when he went for the pin. By this time, the ref couldn't count. Triple H kicked out. Stephanie was arguing with the referee, which took a while. Then, Stephanie was arguing with the referee. Triple H got to his feet. Roman went for a spear on Triple H. Triple H moves, knocks over the referee, and Stephanie takes the spear, takes a good bump. Stephanie takes a pretty good bump off of the spear. Triple H then gets very mad because of this, hits a pedigree on Roman Reigns, but Roman kicks out. Triple H then goes and gets a sledgehammer. Before he can use said sledgehammer, though, he gets hit with a Superman punch, not once but twice, by Roman Reigns. Reigns then hit a spear, pinned Triple H. Bada boom, regains the WWE Championship. Meltzer gave this match 3.25 stars. I would go 3.5, maybe 3.25, right around there, between 3.5. So yeah, 3.25 sounds about right. And I think one of the things, I didn't think the match was horrible, wasn't great, but the crowd just did not care. And to be honest, sometimes I would rather have a dead crowd or a non-crowd than a distracting crowd. Because when this crowd was chanting for Nakamura, when this crowd was chanting for Sami Zayn, when this crowd was doing the ole, 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 it was distracting. And everyone always says, well, crowd makes the match. Yeah, but not in a good way can the crowd make the match sometimes. And this time, it really, really just pulled me out of this match at times. When you're like, yeah, Nakamura and Sami did kill it last night. But that was WrestleMania 32. That was what aired on ESPN tonight. Next week, they are going to be airing WrestleMania 35. But we're not going to review it because we reviewed it last year. Plus, we're going to review WrestleMania 36 both nights, Saturday and Sunday. But with that, we will be live again tomorrow night to talk about Monday Night Raw. Nick should be on that show with me. I did see Nick was in the live chat. What's going on, Nick? But I do have a couple text messages to read before I wrap this up. This person here did state, what's the plan for WWE now since they got done filming WrestleMania, and after WrestleMania, Raw, SmackDown, what's next? So, filming. They're not going to do any more filming. Everything's filmed for Raw, NXT, SmackDown, 205 Live, WrestleMania, Raw after WrestleMania. Then, the plan is to come back on the 10th, which is the Friday after WrestleMania, start filming stuff again with Friday Night SmackDown. Going forward, we'll see. But the plan right now is to resume filming on the 10th, maybe the 9th, but at least the 10th for SmackDown. And this person here says, WWE moved SummerSlam from the TD Gardens to Gillette Stadium? No. It's too late to do that. I get they would like to do a big stadium show, but it takes way too much to get a stadium show ready. And I don't think there's enough certainty of, because what if they say, okay, we're going to run it in Gillette, and they do all the logistics to get everything moved to Gillette, and then they can't even do that show. That's another stadium show that they're going to have to scrap. I would prefer they keep it with TD Gardens and just hope they get that. So we'll see. It's not till August with SummerSlam. We'll see what happens, folks. I don't even know. Things are getting worse by the day. We'll see. But with that, that was WrestleMania 32. I do want to say thank you to all 83 of you, or if not more, that came in and out of this live stream to watch me talk about WrestleMania 32. I want to thank you guys for subscribing to the channel and everything. You can follow us on Twitter at PW Unlimited. You can follow me at Timmy Buddy. And again, like I stated, we will be back tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw. Nick, I'll send you some damn apples. You need oranges too? Because I've got orange trees now. Anyways, that'll do it for tonight. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.